Jayo kunja bihari. Jayo radha madhava. Jayo kunja bihari. Jayo gopi janna vallabha. Jayo giri varadhari. Jayo giri varadhari. Jayo gopi janna vallabha. Jayo giri varadhari. Jayo giri varadhari. Shodanandana braja jana ranjana. Shodanandana braja jana ranjana. Yamuna tira vanachari. Munatira vanachari. Jayo radha madhava. Jayo kunja bihari. Jayo radha madhava. Jayo kunja bihari. Jai gopi janna vallabha. Jayo giri varadhari. Jayo giri varadhari. Ashodanandana braja jana ranjana. Shodanandana braja jana ranjana. Yamuna tira vanachari. Yamuna tira vanachari. Yo radha madhava. Jayo kunja bihari. Jayo radha madhava. Jai kunja bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Prabhupada ki jai. This morning we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 18, Sloka 9. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Parānuṣaktaṁ tapanīya-upakalpam. Mahā-gadam kāñcana-citra-daṁśam. Marmāṇy abhīkṣṇaṁ pratudantam duruktaiḥ. pracaṇḍa-manyuḥ prahasaṁs babhāṣe. parānuṣaktaṁ tapanīya-upakalpam. mahā-gadam kāñcana-citra-daṁśam. marmāṇy abhīkṣṇaṁ pratudantam duruktaiḥ. pracaṇḍa-manyuḥ prahasaṁs babhāṣe. Please chant. Vaishnavis. Parā, from behind, anuṣaktam, who followed very closely, tapanīya-upakalpam, who had a considerable amount of gold ornaments, mahā-gadam, with a great mace, kāñcana, golden, citra, beautiful, daṁśam, armor, marmāṇy, the core of the heart, abhīkṣṇaṁ, constantly, pratudantam, piercing, duruktaiḥ, by abusive words, pracaṇḍa, terrible, manyuḥ, anger, prahasan, laughing, tam, to him, babhāṣe, he said. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The demon who had a wealth of ornaments, bangles, and beautiful golden armor on his body chased the Lord from behind with a great mace. The Lord tolerated his piercing ill words, but in order to reply to him, he expressed his terrible anger. Purport. The Lord could have chastised the demon immediately while the demon was deriding the Lord with ill words, but the Lord tolerated him to please the demigods and to show that they should not be afraid of demons while discharging their duties. Therefore, his toleration was displayed mainly to drive away the fears of the demigods, who should know that the Lord is always present to protect them. The demons' derision of the Lord was just like the barking of dogs. The Lord did not care about it, since he was doing his own work in delivering the earth from the midst of the water. Materialistic demons always possess large amounts of gold in various shapes, and they think that a large amount of gold, physical strength, and popularity can save them from the wrath of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Ajnana-timirandasya gnānjana-śalakaya chakshur unmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu-padaya Krishna-prishthaya bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swamini-ti namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye. Namo mahā-vadanyāya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. Dear Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you all for coming on this rainy day. So, we are hearing about Lord Varahadev already second time in this canto. If you remember, first we heard about appearance of Lord Varahadev in the 13th chapter of this canto. And now in this 18th chapter we are hearing about Lord Varahadev battling Hiranyaksha. So by reading this, we may have impression it was the same Lord Varahadev who lifted the earth as described in the 13th chapter, and that is the same one who killed Hiranyaksha as described in this chapter. But Srila Vishwanath Thakur, he explains that actually two different boar incarnation, 2 different Varaha incarnations, they were combined in one story. And he quoted Lagu Bhagavatamrita, where Rupa Goswami, he gives evidence and reasoning for this. First, there was a Nila Varaha, or black or blue incarnation of Varahadev, who appeared first in Swayambhuva Mahamantara, which is the first Manvantara in Lord Brahma's day. And then there was the Shweta Varaha, or white Varahadev, who appeared second in the 6th or Chakshusha Manvantara. So this Nila Varaha, he appeared from the nostril of Lord Brahma, and he saved the earth from the water. And Shweta Varaha, he appeared not from the nostril of Lord Brahma, he appeared in the Garbhodaka ocean. He lifted the Bhumandala and killed Hiranyaksha. So they both appeared in the same day of Brahma, this current day, but different manvantaras, different periods during the day. So in this chapter we are hearing how white Lord Varahadev, Shweta Varaha, is fighting Hiranyaksha. You may ask also how is that the earth, the Bhumandala, was flooded and sank in the waters on these 2 occasions. Pralaya, or deluge of lower regions of the universe, happens regularly at the end of each Manvantara and also at the end of Lord Brahma's day. But here it happened at the very beginning of Brahma's day, at the Swayambhuva Manvantara, and little later during the day in the 6th Chakshusha Manvantara. So these deluges, these pralayas, they were irregular pralayas. It's mentioned in Matsya Purana that during Swayambhuva Manu's period, the pralaya was during the curse of sage Agastya upon Swayambhuva Manu. And then when the Bhumandal was lost in the water, Lord Varaha, he appeared and lifted it and saved it in this way. And in the second pralaya, Chakshusha Manu, he was also similarly cursed. But actually, the flood at that time came due to Supreme Lord's desire, as what was mentioned in Vishnu Dharmottara Purana. So, Vishnu Chakra Thakur, he comments on this verse, how the demon was ornamented with the gold, and he was following, the Lord who carried the earth. And the demon, he was following him with a mace in his hand, and he was chastising the Lord with abusive words. So what did the Lord do? First, he was angry also, but at the same time, he was laughing, hearing, understanding the other meanings of the words. Although the Hiranyaksha, he was chastising Lord, if you take, literal meaning of the words, there is a second meaning where he was actually praising the Lord. Goddess Saraswati inspired him to speak in such a way that actually his words could be interpreted as glorification. That's why Lord at the same time was also angry, but he was also laughing, being pleased with the glorification of Hiranyaksha. And then later when the Lord replies, his words also have 2 meanings. One is a chastisement, another is acceptance of glorifications. So we have these 2 emotions, anger of the Lord and laughing at the same time. And also we have an enthusiasm to fight, because Lord is very eager to fight. That's why he comes from the spiritual world to fight the demons. So we have a Raudra, Bhava, Hasya, laughter, and Vira Rasa, the chivalrous rasa. Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he explains that Lord is tolerating disturbance of from the demons while doing welfare work for others, and he is not disturbed like somebody would not be disturbed by barking dogs when he's passing by somewhere on the road. So the Lord is showing to devotees that they should not be afraid, and then he's always there to protect them. And he's also showing mercy upon the demons by punishing them. And Prabhupada mentions how their gold, their wealth, money and popularity cannot save them. If Lord doesn't come personally to chastise them, then he will certainly kill them in the form of kala, in the form of time. But still, Lord enjoys personally saving the devotees. And this is one of the primary reasons for his descent. Paritrāṇa sadhunam vināṣaya ca duṣkritam dharma samstapanartya sambhavami yuge yuge. So he enjoys the fighting. And for this, in this world, he needs demons. So he comes in many forms and incarnations. The Lord Nrsimhadev, Varahadev, Rama, Krishna, who is source of all incarnations. We know that Krishna, he is avatari, and he killed many, many demons in Vrindavan. Can we remember what are the demons that he killed? Shakatasura, Putana, Bakasura, Agasura, Trinavarta, so many. He distributed Kaliya, and then Lord Balaram, he killed Pralamba and Dhenuka. So all these demons, they were sent by another demon. Sent by whom? By Kamsa. Yeah. And Kamsa was out of Vrindavan. He was in Mathura. So also there are many other demons who were outside of Rajamandala at that time, and who were burdening the earth, like, Jarasandha, Narakasura, Shalva, Paundraka, Mura, Dantavakra. They all had big armies. So if Krishna had stayed in Vrindavan, all these demons, they would attack Vrindavan, and blood would flow on the pastures of Vrindavan. And Krishna certainly didn't want that. He didn't want these armies and demons to destroy the Vrindavan. That's why he had to go and to fight them outside of Vrindavan. But leaving Vrindavan was painful for him, and also painful for residents of Vrindavan due to separation. But still, Krishna, he tolerated this separation. He sacrificed his own pleasure, his own happiness, and happiness of his dear ones for the greater good, for the welfare of the whole world. Similarly, in other incarnations, he also sacrifices his own happiness for the welfare of the work. If you remember Lord Ramachandra, he went to the forest, and later when he came back from the forest, he abandons Mother Sita, just to show the example to the whole world. And similarly, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he took sannyas, he left, mother, his own old mother that was alone, and he left so many loving devotees here in Mayapur. But still, for the higher purpose, for the spreading of the Sankirtan movement, he left. So the Lord, in this way, he acts as the savior of the world, you can say, as the hero. When we hear the word hero, we think about the heroes from the movies and mundane literatures, like Superman, Batman, James Bond, Agent 007, Rambo, whatever heroes are there in these action movies. Actually now we have another movie going on, Mahā-avatar Narasimha, and all the devotees are so eager to see that hero, and this is correct. And also in the movies we find these evil characters. They threaten to destroy the world, and then superhero, he comes and he saves the world. So it's a natural for human psychology to have and create these heroes. But still in these movies they are imaginary characters. They're not real heroes. The real superhero is just one. It's Krishna himself and his various incarnations. And the Lord, he is not the actor. He doesn't need a double when he is playing dangerous scenes. These actors, they need doubles to do dangerous scenes. Krishna doesn't need. So this Krishna's Lila is the best action movie ever, and it's not creation of some movie producer in Hollywood or Bollywood. It's coming from the studio of Lord's Lila Shakti. It's Asuravhada Lila, Lord's demons killing Lila. So all the elements of drama or action are in this Lila, in this action movie. For example, when Lord Narasimhadev comes, he plays Hiranyakashipu, he fights him, he puts you on his lap, and then at one moment Hiranyakashipu, he slips out, and all demons are terribly scared because, you know, Hiranyakashipu, he got upper hand, so what is going to happen now? So it's very tense. Or when Krishna and Balaram, when they fight, for example, Chanura and Mustika, you know, they are battling arm to arm, head to head, knee to knee, chest to chest. And these wrestlers, they're huge, you know, bodybuilders. And Lord Krishna and Balaram, they're still, you know, very young, you know, 11, 12 years old boys, very, very tender. And then when all the ladies in the audience, ladies of Mathura, when they see it, they protest. What an injustice! You know, such a, you know, huge wrestlers are fighting these young boys, and nobody is saying anything. And Vasudeva and Devaki, they are also very unhappy because they have not realized that point that Krishna and Balaram, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But still, Krishna and Balaram very, very much enjoy this fighting. So devotees, they can also enjoy fighting if there is a specific rasa called Vira rasa, rasa of heroism or chivalry. What is that rasa? First, let us remember what the primary rasas are. There are 5 primary rasas, everybody knows: Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. And then besides these 5 primary rasas, there are some secondary bhakti rasas called gauna rasas. So Srila Rupa Goswami defines these gauna rasas in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He says, when rati, attachment to Krishna, arising from experiences of comic or laughter, experiences of fear, experiences of heroism, anger, disgust, compassion, or wonder mix with the primary rasa, primary devotional sentiment, then it becomes gauna rasa or secondary rasa. So this is how we get hasya, laughter, you know, cowherd boys, they very much laughing when Krishna is telling jokes or imitates some animals. Or then Adbhuta rasa, you know, when Krishna leaves Govardhan Hill, everybody is complete wonder. It's Adbhuta, it's amazing. And then we have this chivalry rasa, heroism. Krishna and cowherd boys, they battle each other. And Karuna rasa, rasa of compassion. Examples are given as Prahlad Maharaj, Vasudeva Datta, who are very compassionate to all conditioned fallen souls. Raudra, rasa of anger, when Bhima becomes furious at Dushasana for disrobing Draupadi, and he wants, you know, to take his heart out of his chest. He's so angry. So it's Raudra rasa. And then we have Bhayanaka, rasa of fear, when Krishna opens his mouth, and Yashoda looks in his mouth, and she sees the whole universe. She's scared. It's Bibha, this Bhayanaka rasa mixing with her parental rasa. And sometimes we also have the rasa of Bibhasa, disgust, when devotee is completely disgusted with the materialistic sense enjoyment and this world. So how these rasas function? They're not constant like primary rasas that are always present and form sthāyi bhavas, primary emotions. These secondary rasas, they arise in certain situations, and they intensify and color the experience. And then they merge back into the primary primary bhakti rasas. So here I want to take a closer look at this Vira Bhakti Rasa, or heroic devotion, or as Srila Prabhupada translates it as chivalry in the nectar of devotion. Because Lord Varahadev that we have here fighting with the Hiranyaksha, he also enjoys this Vira Bhakti Rasa. So where this Vira Bhakti Rasa comes from? It's coming from something called Utsaha Rati, enthusiastic attachment. It's defined as a firm and immediate attachment of the mind to activities such as battle or fight, activities of charity, activities of compassion and dharma for the pleasure of Krishna. So this is called Utsaha. And then Srila Prabhupada in Nectar of Devotion, he defines chivalry when on account of love and devotional service for the Lord, there is a special valorous enthusiasm. The resultant activities are called chivalrous or Vira Bhakti Rasa. That's why Vira Bhakti Rasa is a devotional sentiment or rasa that is characterized by special rati, by valorous, chivalrous or heroic enthusiasm manifested through different valorous activities for Krishna's pleasure. We have to be aware that all these activities in any of the rasas, they are for Krishna's pleasure only. They are not for anybody else's pleasure. So there are 4 types of Vira Bhakti Rasa. First type is called Yuddha Vira. It's a heroism in battle. Then we have Dhana Vira, heroism in charity or generosity. Then we have Dhaya Vira, heroism in compassion. And finally we have Dharma Vira, heroism in dharma, heroism in dharmic activities. So what is Yuddha Vira? Heroism in battle or in chivalrous activities. So definition of it, that it's when friends fight against Krishna, or when Krishna's friends fight against other friends of Krishna in Krishna's presence with desire to please him, this Yuddha Vira Bhakti Rasa becomes manifested. Example is given: a friend once challenged Krishna saying, "My dear Madhava, you are very restless because you think that no one can defeat you. But if you do not flee from here, then I shall show you how I can defeat you. And my friends will be very satisfied to see this." See, the friends of Krishna, they are challenging Krishna, saying how they are more strong than him. So for example, Krishna and Sridham, they are very intimate friends. Yes, Sridham, out of anger with Krishna, he challenges him very often. And when they begin to fight, all of their friends, they stand on the bank of Yamuna and they enjoy looking at this wonderful fighting. And they all prepare some arrows for mock fighting. These are arrows that have leather tips. They will not really pierce the skin. And then they shoot arrows at each other. And sometimes all the friends of Krishna, together with the Krishna, they gather and they shoot these arrows at Sridham. But Sridham is so skillful that he takes his stick for herding the cows, and he's whirling it around like a firebrand, and he repels all these arrows that are coming to him. And Krishna is very much pleased by seeing this scene, and everybody else is enjoying this mock fighting. It creates wonderful excitement for all those who are present there. You have to be there really to relish it, to know how relishable it is. Sometimes also Arjuna and Krishna fight in front of Kunti Devi. It's described in Harivamsha, and it's described how Krishna then defeats Arjuna. And Arjuna is also very pleased, and Krishna is pleased, and Kunti is pleased, everybody is pleased. And sometimes friends of Krishna, they enjoy boasting. Boasting acts as stimuli of this Vira Bhakti Rasa as Udipan. For example, Stoka Krishna, one of the Krishna's friends, he says to Krishna, "My dear friend Damodar, you are expert only in eating. You have defeated Subal only because he is weak, and you adopted cheating means. Don't advertise yourself to be a great fighter by such action. You have advertised yourself as a serpent, and I'm a peacock who will now defeat you." It's mentioned that the peacock is the animal that is most able to defeat a serpent. So that's why Stoka Krishna is saying to Krishna, "I'm a peacock, and if you are a serpent, let's fight." So when Stoka Krishna in this way was challenging Krishna, his father, he heard about it, and he chastised him very heavily. He told him, "You know, Krishna is the life and soul of all of us, of all residents of Vrindavans, and you are fighting with him. This is not right." And Stoka Krishna, he became afraid, and he stopped fighting. But Krishna, he wanted to fight, so he continued to challenge him, to provoke him. And then Stoka Krishna's Vira Bhakti Rasa became awakened again. And then again he took, his stick and started whirling it to show to Krishna how actually he can fight. There is a description how Sridham once he challenged another friend of Krishna, Bhadrasen, and told him, "My dear friend, you don't need to be afraid of me yet. I shall first of all defeat our brother Balaram, then I shall beat Krishna, and then I shall come to you." So even between themselves, they fight in Krishna's presence, and this is how they enjoy this Vira Bhakti Rasa. So this was the first type of Vira Bhakti Rasa called Yuddha Vira, chivalry in fighting or battle. There is a second type of Vira Bhakti Rasa called Dhana Vira, or heroism in generosity, chivalry in giving charity. And it's also called Dhanotsaha Rati, Dhana Utsaha, Dhanotsaha Rati, enthusiasm for giving. Rupa Goswami, he defines it, actually Srila Prabhupada defines it in the Nectar Devotion. Devotees show a heroic spirit in giving profusely to Krishna or others for Krishna's sake, and then this is called Dhana Vira. And there are now three subtypes of these Dhana Vira persons. There is a Bahuprada Dhana Vira, one who gives very generously, person who can sacrifice everything for satisfaction of Krishna. He is called Magnificent. So who is the example of this Bahuprada Dhana Vira? It is Nanda Maharaj. On the occasion of Krishna's birth, he was so happy that he gave millions and millions of cows and gold ornaments and so many other things to the Brahmanas, that Brahmanas, they were so satisfied. They praised his charity, saying that he excelled the charity of kings like Prithu and King Riga, who were in the past, in the history, were famous and as great givers of the charity. And then we have a second type of Dhanavira called Tansampradhanaka. This is the person who gives everything to Krishna. When he knows the glories of Krishna completely and he is prepared to sacrifice everything for the Lord, he is called Sampradhanaka. Example of Sampradhanaka Dhanavira is Maharaj Yudhishthira. When he went with Krishna to the arena of Rajaswa sacrifice, he began to anoint the body of Krishna with the sandalwood. He decorated Krishna with a garland. He gave him new garments, all embroidered with the gold, and bedecked with the valuable jewels. Then he donated Krishna many elephants, chariots, and horses. Then he wished to give Krishna his kingdom, his family, and even his own self. And after giving all these things, he found nothing else to give, and then he became disturbed. So this is Tat Sampradhanaka Dhanavira, who gives everything to Krishna without considering whether something will be left for him. Balaram is also an example of such a person. You know that he gave even his own head to the Lord after giving him the 3 worlds. And then there is a third type of dhanavira. It's called upastita durabharata tyagi. This is a person who wants to give everything in charity to Krishna, but he does not want to accept anything in return. This is the real renouncer. Many times when we want to give something, we, at least subconsciously in the back of our mind, we expect something in return in the future, or at least some praise or thanks. But no, persons who are upastita durabhasta tyagi, they don't want absolutely anything. An example given is Dhruva Maharaj. You know that he first wanted a kingdom greater than the kingdom of his father, greater than the kingdom of Lord Brahma. But at the end, when he saw the Lord, he lost desire for anything else. And he said to Krishna, to Lord Narayan who appeared, I had been searching for some pieces of broken glass, but instead of that, I have found the most valuable jewel. Now I'm so satisfied, my dear Lord, that I do not wish anything, absolutely anything. So these were the types of dhanavira, those who are heroes in giving. Third type of vira bhakti rasa is called daya vira. It's a heroism or chivalry in daya, in compassion. It's defined as a chivalrous enthusiasm to relieve others' suffering, and especially when Krishna appears in disguise. In other words, it's called dayotsaha rati, enthusiasm in compassion. We have one example of this daya vira in King Mayuradhwaj, who offered half of his body to Krishna disguised as a brahmana. What is the story? Well, this King Mayuradhwaj's son, he took the sacrificial course of Maharaj Yudhishthir. You know, before the Rajasuya sacrifice, Maharaj Yudhishthir, he released one horse who wandered around the earth. And whoever dared to stop this horse, then Pandavas would come and challenge that person and defeat him. In this way, that king would submit to Maharaj Yudhishthir. And only when defeating all the kings like this, Maharaj Yudhishthir could perform the Rajasuya sacrifice. So this king, Mayuradhwaj's son, he took this horse for the sacrifice of his father, Mayuradhwaj. And then Krishna and Arjuna, they discussed themselves as brahmanas and brahmanas' sons, and they went in front of this King Mayuradhwaj. And King Mayuradhwaj, he was a devotee, but he couldn't recognize that it was Krishna and Arjuna disguised. So Krishna came to King and told him that his son was to be married, but now, alas, due to some misfortune in the forest, a lion attacked his son, and he captured him, and he doesn't want to release his son. So lion agrees to free his son only on the condition that King Mayuradhwaj offer half of his body to the lion. This is what Krishna, in the disguise as a brahmana, is telling to this king. And king was so generous, and he had such attachment to Krishna, although he didn't know that was Krishna talking. He immediately agreed. He said, yes, I will give half of my body, no problem. I give everything to brahmanas. But his wife was there, and she said, no, 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 I will give myself, because the wife is considered the left side of the husband's body. So I will give myself to the lion. But at that point, Krishna, he interfered. He said, no, no, no. Lion, he doesn't want the left part of the body. He wants the right side of the body. King said, okay, no problem. I agree to give the right side. And he ordered his wife and the son, please bring a saw and cleave my body in half. And so while they were going to bring the saw, Krishna noticed that the tears started flowing from the left eye of the king. And then Krishna told him, he said that he cannot accept, the lion will not accept the offering since it was made unwillingly, because your left eye is crying. So it's unwilling charity, I cannot take it. King said, no, 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 no. The tears are not flowing from my left eye because of fear or grief due to dying, but the left side is crying because it is disappointed that cannot be offered to the Brahmana as the right side. The left side is so disappointed that only right side will be offered. Left side also wants to be offered. Hearing such a merciful statement and seeing such a merciful nature of this King Mayuradhwaj, Krishna, he gave up his disguise and he embraced the king and gave him all the blessings, of course. And King Mayuradhwaj, he completed the sacrifice using this horse of Maharaj Yudhishthira, and then he returned the horse to Krishna and Arjuna. So King Mayuradhwaj, Srila Prabhupada mentions in the Nectar of Devotion that his sacrifice of King Mayuradhwaj is unique in this world for the Krishna's sake, because he offered half of his body. Just imagine, you agree to cut your body in half to give to Krishna. This must be really due to intense love. Nothing else can compare to this. And Prabhupada saying that this sacrifice is unique and that we should all offer our respectful obeisances to him. So he is complete Dhaya, he is perfect Dhaya Vira. King Mayuradhwaj is complete Dhaya Vira. And he was a devotee of Krishna, and because of this love for Krishna that he had, he could act like this. Otherwise, it would not be possible. If he was just a pious king who agreed to offer, his body due to some dharmic concerns, that would be just some agyata sukriti and pious activity, but it would not really be this Vira Bhakti Rasa. It would not be Dhaya Vira. For Dhaya Vira, a person has to be devotee and he has to have rati for Krishna, attachment to Krishna. And Krishna has to be disguised. That a person can consider Krishna as the object of his compassion. Otherwise, if Krishna appears and he is Krishna, he is not disguised, then how would you feel to be compassionate towards him? Because Krishna is always superior to a devotee. You could feel if you're a parent of Krishna and then you feel him inferior and helpless, but then it would not be Vira Bhakti Rasa, it would be Vatsalya Rasa or Karuna Rasa. And the last type, we are coming close, and the last type of Vira Bhakti Rasa is Dharma Vira. It's a heroism in upholding Dharma. It's a chivalrous person who is chivalrous in executing religious rituals. He is called Dharma Vira. So through performing these dharmic duties like yagyas and sacrifices, person is intending to please Krishna. And again, the best example of this Dharma Vira is Maharaj Yudhishthira. He performed so many different sort of sacrifices only for Krishna's pleasure. And it's mentioned that Indra was so much absent from the heaven due to the sacrifices and yagyas of Maharaj Yudhishthira that his wife Shachi Devi was always very morose and waiting for him to come back because he was always busy attending the sacrifices of Maharaj Yudhishthira. But Maharaj Yudhishthira, he didn't perform these sacrifices for the pleasure of any demigods, Indra, Shiva, Brahma, anybody, Varuna. No, he performed them only purely for Krishna's pleasure. He was not some pious, ritualistic person who wanted to be promoted to heaven, and that's why he was performing sacrifices in order to gain material happiness in this world or the next. No. Whatever he did, even these sacrifices, elaborate sacrifices, they were done only just to please Krishna. So he's perfect Dharma Vira. He completely, dedicated, his own self, doing everything for Krishna's pleasure. So this was some meditations on Vira Bhakti Rasa and Bhakti Rasa in general, exchange between Krishna and his devotees. We know that Janmashtami is coming close, it's appearance of the Lord. And this meditation should inspire us to awaken a little bit of that Bhakti Rasa in our own heart. It is there, sleeping. But we can awaken it if we water it properly. If we water the Bhakti Lata Bij with the water of hearing and chanting, Shavanadi, Shuddhachite, Koroye Udohi, it will awaken. If we hear and chant about Krishna's loving exchanges with his devotees, about the exchanges of this Bhakta Rasa, as long as we don't have aspirations for Bhakti Rasa as exhibited by Krishna and his associates, we'll have to aspire for so many other things. We'll need to aspire for money, for name, for fame, for prestige, for countless other material things. We cannot be without aspirations, we cannot be without desires. It's a natural symptom of the soul that we need to desire something. But if we somehow manage to transform these material aspirations and desires into a desire or aspiration for Bhakti Rasa, for loving exchanges with Krishna, then our heart will be transformed and we will develop spiritual hankering and then we'll progress very fast on the path of bhakti. So that's why this regular hearing and chanting is essential, and this Bhagavatam class is one opportunity for that. Thank you all very much for being here. If you have any comments or questions, we have a few more minutes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for a wonderful class and description of different rasas. I have a question about Varahadev. You mentioned two incarnations, two manifestations of this form. How many other appearances of Varahadev do you know? Because I remember the picture, Srimad Bhagavatam, it is red. There is one red Varahadev. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, that's Arakta Varahadev. Actually, what I found in Bhagavatam, Vishnu Chakravarti's commentary and Laghu Bhagavatamrita mentions only white Lord Shveta Varahadev and Nila Varahadev, blue or dark Lord Varahadev. It is possible the Rakta Varahadev, the red one, is mentioned somewhere else, or maybe the artist who painted this photo, he just had the idea that boar is a reddish in color. That's why he painted in red. But as far as I know, these two are mentioned: Shveta Varahadev, white Varahadev, and Nila Varahadev. But it's possible that in other days of Brahma, Lord can assume different color. Since even in just this day of Brahma, Lord appeared twice in two different Varahadev incarnations, it is not very difficult, impossible for him to appear in other days of Brahma in different colors. But somehow Maitreya, when he was telling this story in the 13th chapter, he just merged these two incarnations in one. He didn't distinguish between Nila Varahadev and Shveta Varahadev. They both left the earth, but only one of them, only Shveta Varahadev, he killed Hiranyaksha. Yeah, I know only for the two. This is what is mentioned in the Bhagavatam and Laghu Bhagavatamrita. I have no information of some other Lord Varahadevs.
But why did he mix them too? Because it's a little bit misleading for...
In his narration, he didn't distinguish because I guess he didn't consider it very important, or time was limited, so he just, combined descriptions. He didn't go into details of appearances of two different ones, because Lord Varahadev is Lord Varahadev, whether he appears in first Manvantara or sixth Manvantara, whether he leaves the earth, whether he has blue color or white color, he is still the same person, and he he is in the same mood of saving the earth. So somehow Maitreya, he didn't distinguish. We have to ask him. Could be from many different reasons. He was maybe in rush or just didn't consider it very important to distinguish. Yes, Prabhu. In other Purans, maybe, if you are eager to do the research, I just found information on these two different Varaha-devs, and I think for me it's enough. But if you want to find some other, it's possible. Yeah, why not? It's nice research that can be done. Lord has countless incarnations that are coming like a waves of an ocean. So I'm sure that there are more. So the red one also could be there. Anything else on Vira Bhakti Rasa, heroism? Anybody like to be a hero in devotion? Yes, Prabhu.
So, Prabhu, regarding primary rasa and secondary rasa, so which one should be more prominent in practice? When we are practicing, which one should be more prominent?
The five, primary rasas are always the most prominent. One of them becomes Thai Bhava, permanent devotional mode, permanent rasa, that you're always in a mood of a parent. Not that all of a sudden, today you're a parent and tomorrow you want to be a lover of Krishna. No, it doesn't work like this. Thai Bhava is fixed. And then, so either you are in the mood of a parent, or a mood of a servant, or a friend, or what is left? Or a lover of Krishna. This is your permanent mood. And then, in certain circumstances, certain situations and occasions, these secondary rasas arise. Krishna is joking with his friends. They're always the friends. They're always in the friendly mood. But then, because of Krishna's joking and making so much fun and playing with animals, this hasya rasa comes. Everybody starts enjoying the laughter so much and they cannot stop laughing, So this means this hasya rasa is now mixing with the sakya rasa. And then on another occasion, Krishna is challenging them, come fight with me. And then the Vira Bhakti rasa emerges and mixing with the sakya. And on other occasions, they see a Kashi demon coming and galloping in Vrindavan, and everybody is afraid. So the bhayanaka, the fear arises in the minds of Rajvasis and start mixing with the primary rasa. And once the demon is gone, Krishna kills him, the fear is gone, and this rasa is also gone. So it's these secondary gauna rasas that they're temporary, and they mix occasionally to enhance the experience of the primary rasa. So their function is to enhance, the enjoyment of primary bhakti rasa. Is there anything else? Yes, Mataji, give back the mic to her.
I just have a question about the same topic, that sometimes even demons, they commit some kind of sacrifices, like I think, who was that? Hiranyakashipu, who sacrificed half of his body to the ants, to the termites. So it's a little bit different, right? Or it's the same mood?
He did tapasya, and that's why he was granted that stout body of Hiranyakashipu. But he cannot be considered, that cannot be considered an example of Vira Bhakti Rasa. Only Krishna's friends can enjoy this chivalrous Vira Bhakti Rasa. Demons cannot, and demons cannot really be, Krishna doesn't really enjoy exchange of Vira Bhakti Rasa with them. He kills them, he fights with them in order, to save the devotees and to deliver the burden of the earth. But in terms of enjoying Bhakti Rasa, only Krishna and his devotees can enjoy it. So Vira Bhakti Rasa is manifested only in exchanges between Krishna and his friends who mock fight. It's not a real fight, it's a mock fight. Yes, Patipalan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for the nice class. Just on this last point, Prabhu. So Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha and Ravana, Kumbhakarna, they are ultimately Jaya Vijay. So they are ultimately devotees. So in one of the commentaries, it's explained that to call them as demons outright is not also valid, because the whole thing is enacted as a drama, and the Lord is actually fighting with his own. Of course, there is friendly exchange also in the fights. We see the verbal exchanges and all this. And also Narsinghadev, he sits on the throne of Hiranyakashipu, and he's actually enjoying, he's saying, oh, this is, it's very pleasing to sit here on my devotee's throne. So all these exchanges, they are just described as a drama, and it's really not, they are not really acting as demons. So that's...
Yes, correct. In the case of Jai and Vijay, since they are devotees, then actually this Hiranyakashipu and Yaksha are devotees, but they are devotees only in this day of Brahma. Then in another day of Brahma, again there is a Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, but they are not devotees, they are just demons. And then there is a no Vira Bhakti Rasa. But here with Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, who are Jai and Vijay, because they are devotees, Lord can enjoy the Vira Bhakti Rasa if they are devotees in disguise. Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.